Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Playing, having fun. It's cool. Let's just put it out. So that's what we're doing.
That's really cool. Yeah, sometimes it's good just to go with what happens. Sometimes it seems to happen for a reason, and yeah, it seems like it was the right thing to do. And it's cool. You're bringing a bit of a rock edge to kind of blues and stuff. And I guess there's not many bands who've done that. You know, I can only think Judas Priest did Johnny Be Good once, but there's not that many times it's happened. So it's quite cool to see a kind of a bit more of a blend of the two genres. Heavy, making it a bit heavier, and kind of.
Yeah, I mean, if people listen to our version of Black Betty, that's a really good example. I mean, the original version is the original version is by a guy called Leadbelly, and he wrote. It was just a vocal, and I don't know if you've ever heard that, but if you go on Spotify or something, you can listen to it, and it's just a vocal part that goes, "Oh, Black Betty," it's like it's like a work song, and then Ram Jam had their way with it, which is really killer, and that actually lends itself to a metal version, say. But we wanted to get it more. We wanted to rock up the thing, but we wanted to take it from the original version and go from there. And what we ended up with was like a little bit more of a, it's like a ZZ Top version or something. And it's like, it's got this Texas kind of thing to it, or somebody else mentioned another influence that it sounded like. But the bottom line is we took it really into a new direction, and it's like a good mesh of the Dead Daisies and the original version.
Oh, that's really cool. I think there's going to be a lot of fans anticipating this. It sounds like it's going to be really cool. And from the singles that have been released so far, yeah, it sounds great. And yeah, I can't wait to hear the whole album and the whole live setting that you're talking about. Is that something completely new for the Dead Daisies? Is that something you don't usually do? Would you? Is it quite different? Have you ever done that before? Recorded in?
Well, we always record live together. That's one thing that I love about the Dead Daisies is we actually have the ability we have the means to go into a studio together and write together and record together, and that's been a thing that we've always done. But what we usually would do would be we'd go in and we'd record the basic tracks, and then we'd kind of go back and listen, and we'd fix parts or develop parts. Like it might be I might get through the tracking, playing rhythm guitar and throwing down a little solo or something. But I know that I'm going to go back and redo the solo, so I don't worry about it. And maybe the rhythm part, I might go back and say, I love this part the way it feels, but this part here, I want to change it, And so we take it a step further. With this Looking for Trouble album, it's live. It's like we recorded it live. The only thing I think maybe John had to go back and do some vocals because maybe he didn't have all the lyrics or whatever. We were moving really fast. I mean, literally, this record, literally, it was recorded in under a week. probably more like 4 or 5 days total.
Wow.
And that includes John, fixing some vocals if he wanted to, or if Marty wanted him to. And that's it, man. Then Marty mixed it. So yeah, usually we always record live together, but then we would normally go back and revisit it. We didn't do that. We just kept it live.
That's really cool. Yeah, that's a great approach. And I guess although these are covers mainly, sometimes that's quite a good thing I'm a songwriter myself and a singer, and when I do songs, I kind of I like to go with the first kind of thing mainly that comes to mind when I'm putting together the song, because I feel if you spend too much time, the song changes and you kind of sometimes lose that original thing that made the song good, if you know what I mean.
That's right. You can get in your own way and get too far away from the original beauty, the thing that was original. That's a good point that people should do, is always kind of try and find a way, whether you do it with your phone or on your computer, whatever. When you get a basic idea and you throw it down without thinking, or you sing it into your phone without thinking, there's something a beauty about that you try not to lose that, you know, when you're doing the song for real.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's that subconscious kind of thing. You kind of, and it kind of resonates with people more than a thought that is too well thought out. Because you can kind of think, oh, people are going to love this, and then you kind of spend too much time critiquing it, and they probably won't. I think most people are drawn to something quite organic, and the first thought that comes to mind is often the thing that's gonna resonate more than when you kind of change things too much. Nothing good really comes out of overthinking, you know. Sometimes you got to just,
That's right.
yeah, go for it.
That's
Kind of
absolutely right, man. That's our biggest enemy is overthinking.
Absolutely.
You know, it's interesting story is I used to do a lot of sessions where, you know, the producer would say like, okay, just do the rhythm track, then put a solo down, and I would put a solo down. He'd be like, "That's great, man." I'd maybe do it like 3 times, and the third one he'd be like, "Oh, that's amazing." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let me listen to that, and I'll see what I like and see what we can grab from that." And he'd be like, "No, that's it, man. That's the solo. That's like listen to it. Listen, Doug, listen to it." And I'd be like, "It's okay, you know, it's good." And I would be, let me have another pass. And I have to, you know, once you throw down something, it was off the cuff and it's got a beauty to it. I know that if I spend the time that I have to learn it, and then I have to practice it, and then I have to own it. And eventually I can forget and play it with all those aspects, and it'll sound fresh again. But it takes a minute.
Yeah.
And the producer was he was like, "No, everything you're playing sounds contrived. It sounds like you're trying." And I'm like, "No, I get it. That's what happens. You know, it takes, you gotta start and get the full circle happening." Eventually, you know, in a situation with a session, it's better to just go, "You know what? You're right. The original one's the best one. Just go with it." But if you have your own, if it's up to you and you have the opportunity to go through it and do that, then you can, you know, and you can just don't lose the vibe that you got on that first one. People like guitar players like I'm sure you've heard of Eric Johnson. He's not a metal guitar player, but he's a brilliant guitar player.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that is known for really working his parts out. You know, he'll get the idea and then he'll tweak it, and I love that. You know, he'll take it, he'll keep the original vibe, but he'll work through it all the way till it's fresh again. And there's a couple times with Whitesnake I had that situation where I had ultimate open amount of time. I could have took 3 weeks or a month or whatever to work on a solo. And so you find yourself going, well, I'm not sure that melody, is that the best way to start it? Or should I start with some fire and then go break into the melody? Or, and I have to try these things. And then you figure out, I think that's the best way. Maybe I changed the end of it. And then eventually it's like, it does become, you know, something that it never would have had you not taken the time to do that. But there is a beauty to the first notes that you play. There's something beautiful about it. And that's definitely what's on Looking for Trouble.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
Metal Matt, Alice Cooper here. Good name, by the way. I'll tell Rob that I talked to you. I know we got canceled at Comic-Con in London, but that'll come back up again. We'll do that. You're a singer-songwriter, and you know, the best thing you can do during this crazy time right now is to write as much as you can. You know, writing is everything. All right, I will check out your YouTube, and I'm glad I'm your hero. And the best thing I can say to a guy like Metal Matt is, whatever you do, don't rust.